Greetings, Bill here. I wanted to do a little video this weekend, this holiday weekend, that we observed the people that went off to war and made the ultimate sacrifice for those of us, at least here in America, and we thank them. What I wanted to do was I wanted to go through since I had some time, go through some of my honing equipment, and I also wanted to do some barbecue this weekend. And it kind of dawned on me how much there are some similarities in the two things, and that sometimes there's just different ways of doing things, and there's nothing wrong with different ways, and people should make their own choices as to how they want to do things. What I wanted to do with my gear, okay, one of the things that I had seen as I evolved going through with basically have convexed almost all my stones. I'm not going to do, there's one here that I'm not going to convex, but I basically convexed them all. I have use for all of them. And I'm getting good results. I'm getting results I enjoy. And one of the things in the observation of some of the things that I did when I would get under magnification or a little scope or whatever, I would see that there were scratches on the bevel, which the form of the bevel would be a hollowed bevel, mathematically, because I am using a honing surface that the one of the popular things they like to call it now is a dome, and that's okay. Okay, but it is an elliptically convex surface, and I think one of the things that gave me the results that I really liked was my use of, after I go through my hones, I would come in, and I was using and there's plenty of people that do this, where they put different abrasive pastes on balsa. Okay, now I've got mine and I've chosen what to do. But what I had found, that when I look under magnification at my bevel, was that there were scratches that would still exist on there. Okay, and I had felt that might be leaving me with some, even though I really liked how sharp the edge was and how it shaved, I felt that there was the possibility that some of those scratches that were in the hollow of that bevel were leaving some roughness that I was feeling. I mean, I've shaved with a lot of stuff that was rougher than that, very much rougher. But I wanted to try, and I had convexed. I had used my convex plate, and I'm very glad I got this. Something sort of tells me that there may not be another run of those that would be a little bit different, but I'm really glad I got that. That's, it's just exactly what I want. It uses a 9x11 or 9 by whatever the size of sandpapers. It fits that, and it works very well, okay, for me. And it allows me to also take my balsa strops and put them on this and create the same form, where I have a radius, and actually it enables, as I'm going through my honing process, it enables the shape to get up into the hollow of the bevel. And I went ahead and I did all those. Plus, I touched up all my stones. It's a commitment. It takes some time to do all that, just like any other maintenance of different types of gear. But I went through and reshaped them all to the form of the convexing lapping plate. And then I went ahead and repasted them. Okay, now I have a series of progression of pastes. But what I think, after having gone through this and doing my little test where my little test is, just how easily does the tool push cut into one of these packing peanuts. It's I've seen guys, matter of fact, not too long ago, I've seen guys go through, and this is a gold dollar, and there's a couple of ways to do this. I sharpen these my ways. I call these the China Wonders, because you wonder why you buy them sometimes. Anyhow, I've seen people that would use tape and continually replace the tape, and as they would hone it, they would watch for where the tape wears through, and they'd replace it and place it. And what they are in fact doing, they're in fact taking the razor and pitching it up a little bit and creating a false guide, a honing guide. The other thing that's popular is to grind away at them till you actually grind any of the defects that may exist in your spine, which is your honing guide. Grind those away until that becomes kind of level, and then kind of your blade kind of follows that, whatever it is. And if your blade is a little bendy, you just may not have a very, very straight looking bevel, although probably the edge would be. Theoretically, to me, if you have straightened this and you have and you're working at, even if the blade itself does some funky stuff, the edge would follow how you're doing it. And that's okay. That's another thing. So there's two ways to do that. My way is I'm using the tool that I have to isolate contact points, so I have a limited area of contact that deals with that. But also, unlike the tape method, okay, whereas you do the tape, you pitch the bevel up. This is already probably pushing the limits of where you would want the bevel angle, okay. Keeping this down on the stone and even grinding away at this would reduce the angle, the bevel angle. Now, using a convex hone, you actually kind of even drop that a little bit further, okay. I don't want to really get into the argument of whether that's a benefit that everybody needs. I like it. It works for me. And mathematically, I bought into it. Okay. Now, the one thing that I thought I was doing was when I would use my convex hones and I would hone the razor, I was thinking that probably with my balsa strops being flat, maybe what I was doing was, because I have this hollow on the bevel, that when this was flat, I would come along and I'm stropping on this. I'm actually maybe almost making a compound bevel, okay? I couldn't see it with a scope or whatever magnification I have, but mathematically and in theory, that's what I was doing. Now, I have done compound bevels on my kitchen knives. Uh, One of the reasons for doing that, and I have a chef knife, there's a pretty thick chef knife, and I do that where I give it a bevel, and then at the very, very point, I make it a larger angle bevel because it lasts longer. It doesn't cut better. It actually does not cut quite as well. If you have to go slice a carrot, you can go take a very dull, thin knife and slice carrots better than you can with that knife that I've just sharpened and put the Eagle long-lasting compound bevel on it. So I had kind of theorized that maybe that's what was happening with my blades. Certainly, I did not like the looks of seeing the scratches in the bevel. And I went through and I did them all. And this was, this gold dollar was my first example, my sample that I went through. And I had really good results with it. You know, I did this and I shaved with this this morning. I liked what I got. I was liking the push cut that I'm getting on the styrofoam, and it shaved very, very smooth. This is, you know, for a $3 razor, this is, I really do like it. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do what my intent was with these things once I get what I want out of them in terms of my own education. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sanitize it up, and I'm going to give this away for somebody who may want to learn to hone for themselves, or they may want to learn to shave with a straight razor. That was my intent with that. I think I had went through about the CBN pastes that I like on the finer end, where I'm down at a half micron, quarter micron, and a tenth of a micron. These are not really a paste, these are a slurry. These are things that were not cheap. I don't know if you can get them anymore. What I read about the CBN, or cubic boron nitride, I think that's what it stands for, is that it's an abrasive that's just short of the hardness of diamond, but the particle shape is a little more uniform and has less of the jaggies coming out of there that may put deeper scratches in there. And so for a 10th micron particle size, you may be getting a finer abrasion on your edge than you would get with a 10th micron diamond, because the diamond might have more pointy stuff on there. So I don't know if you could even get these anymore, but it's like, as I went through today and I found out that I was getting on my hollowed out bevel, I was actually getting a very polished finish all the way up, and, you know, kind of really void of scratches. I was really, really happy with that. Whether I'm going to look around and see if I get some of the coarser ones, because right now I'm using some Dovo pastes and some diamond pastes, and I'm going through a progression where I think by the numbers that I looked at, I'm going from coarser to finer, okay, with the 10th micron CBN being the finest. And as a confirmation, after doing that one and doing the gold dollar and shaving with it, I decided to do this TI. I bought this one as a educational tool, you can call it. Now, I don't want to call it a burner because it shaved pretty well, and I took it with the factory edge. And the factory edge was serviceable. It was not as good as some of the stuff that I had been getting, but I have a much more special one of Tears of Sard razor, and I've got some other things that are more special to me that I didn't really want to practice on. Okay, so for me, this was practice, and I didn't damage it in any way. uh, but the using this, one of the things, I'm just making a stropping motion, and um, I'm and as I, you know, I'm getting, because this is curved, I'm getting the abrasive up into the bevel form, the hollow bevel form, and it's bringing me some really, really nice results. And when I do this, I just do it, maybe a little bit uh, not all that much different than I would make the motion on a stone. Now, I'm not so sure if this is something that you can hear or not, but one of the things that I noticed, and I never really learned to hone well enough on flat that I was getting this, but when I learned to hone on a convex surface, I was finding that one of the feedback indicators to me on most razors was the audible feedback of the blade, the harmonic, and I'm going to see if we can hear this. That was a little crunchy, but it's almost almost like a singing kind of a sound that you're getting on that. And the strop will do it when you go to a hanging strop, but I'm liking it. And I'm really, really anxious. This right now, I don't think I have honed a single razor this sharp. Okay. I just don't think I'm anxious to shave with this, and see how it goes for me, because for me, what I like is I like the hollowed out blades, and I like them sharp, and I'm after the sharpest thing that I can get. So that's where we are on the honing. And on the barbecue, there's all kinds of different things on the barbecue, and I didn't use my Weber Smoky Mountain, which does real good, but there's some people that don't like that, and some people don't like what I did and whatever. But just like in shaving with my barbecue, there's only one guy that I really need to make happy. That's the guy I'm looking at in the camera. And that is just good barbecue. Better. I've made better. I've made worse. But it's still better than anything that I can pretty much buy. And I'm happy with it. And I'm happy with what I'm doing with my razors. I'm happy that the tools I have. I don't want anybody to think that you have to do this. If you want to go to your favorite restaurant and you want to buy your ribs at your favorite restaurant and they're the best there ever have and all that kind of stuff, that's all well and good. You just keep going to your restaurant and you keep buying your ribs. And as long as you're happy, then I'm happy. So, my friends, thanks for your time. I hope that somewhere along the way I may have been of some help to somebody along the way. Thanks. Okay, I want to add in some of the stars of the show. Here are the ribs I cooked. All the way in the back, we have a keto done with just salt. Then we have a couple of rubs on the two in the middle. And then in the closest one, we have just salt and brown sugar and honey to make it really, really sweet. Then we move over to my gear. This is before I dress them up all on the lapping plate. You'll see the balsa strops towards the back going from the right side, the coarsest up to the finest on the left. And then you'll see my different stones in the front. I have a nanowood progression, and I have a conical, and I have a two-sided arc. And then after that, we go over to where you can see I'm using the Jared plate, shaping and dressing one of the stones. You put a piece of sandpaper down on there, and you can do it wet or dry for the stones. And then when you move to the balsa to do it on the balsa, you have to do that dry. You can see on the balsa the shape as it's coming up, that it's an elliptical type shape, and you can see as it's taking off the old compound that was there and creating a new convex surface. And then on the last picture you see, how it narrows down as you're approaching the finish. And then in the end we have the ribs as they are done. There they are, and just like there are a lot of people that'll never agree that I'm honing correctly. There are people that'll never agree that when you take ribs and you put them in a pan and towards the end you kind of braise them, that they'll never agree that you're making barbecue because you're just not doing it right. However, the guy I need to make happy, I've made plenty happy.